Your Eye on Annapolis daily news brief keeps you informed about what's happening in Annapolis and Arundel County and Maryland. Local news, local sports, local events, local opinion, and, of course, local weather. Your Eye on Annapolis daily news brief starts now.
Good morning. It's Tuesday, October 4th, 2022. This is John Frenaye, and this is your Eye on Annapolis daily news brief. What was that nursery rhyme when those of us of a certain age used to sing, rain, rain, go away, come again some other day? Enough. Maybe George from DCMDVA Weather will have some good news for us a little bit later. All right, let's get into today's news, shall we? The Annapolis Police Department is investigating a stabbing and a shooting that happened on Saturday. At 2 a.m., they were called to Ben's Drive for the stabbing. Two men got into an argument, and one of them ended up stabbing the other one multiple times. The suspect did remain at the scene and was arrested and charged appropriately. The victim was sent to a local hospital in stable condition. About an hour later, they responded to a shooting on Royal Street. Now, a man had called a tow truck to unlock a locked vehicle and then decided that he didn't like the price that he was being charged. He argued with the tow company. Eventually, the tow truck driver just drove away, and as it was driving away, the suspect pulled out a handgun and fired a shot at the truck. The truck was struck. The driver was not. The victim was not injured, and it's not clear if the police have made any arrests in that case just yet. Out in West County, the Arundel County Police are looking for two black males and a white female in connection with the armed robbery of 3 dogs. The trio met in a Laurel parking lot to purportedly buy a dog from a couple. When they arrived, the 2 males pulled out guns and forced the 2 victims back into their basement apartment and stole 3 dogs, 2 adults and 1 puppy. The female suspect was waiting in the dark-colored SUV with tinted windows for the 2 males to get the dogs, and once they had the dogs, they drove away. Police have not made an arrest in that. Some better police news. The Annapolis, Anne Arundel, and Maryland State Police are all participating in the National Faith and Blue Weekend this weekend. This is a national initiative to bring neighbors, law enforcement, and faith-based organizations together to build connections. Now, there's going to be different events at different locations throughout the areas, such as Coffee with a Cop, basketball and barbecue, movie nights, carnivals, and much more. What you want to do is check out the Facebook pages for the specific law enforcement agency in your area. So that would be either Anne Arundel County Police, Annapolis Police Department, or the Maryland State Police. Along with breast cancer awareness and fire prevention, October has also been declared by Governor Hogan to be Walktober. Walking is the official state exercise for Maryland, who knew? And on Walk Maryland Day, which is tomorrow, MDOT is encouraging everyone to get out for at least a part of the day and, you guessed it, walk a little bit. And to learn a little bit more, they have scheduled a series of webinars from 10:30 a.m. to noon on Thursdays all month long to provide more detailed information on walking, from health benefits to pedestrian safety, infrastructure improvements, and helping underserved neighborhoods with walking. They are free, and you can register for them at mdot.maryland.gov/Walktober. Okay, it is Ticket Tuesday, and I am fresh out of tickets from Ram's Head on stage, but I do expect some more soon. But I do have a few pairs of tickets to the Annapolis Sailboat Show, which is coming into town next week. If you want a pair, send me a DM on Twitter or an email, and I may hook you up with a pair. Podcast news up this Saturday on the Local Business Spotlight, as I mentioned before, Sell Brown. And you want to look for a bonus pod today with Eric Troyer, who is with the Orchestra, which is the latest incarnation of one of my favorite bands from the 70s, ELO. They're coming to Ram's Head on stage on Sunday for 2 shows, one for the old folk like me at 4 p.m. and another for the whippersnappers at 7:30 p.m. And I'll tell you, Eric does promise it will be off the hook. All right, that is a wrap. But first, a quick thank you to you for listening and for sharing and for letting your friends and colleagues all know about the Daily News Brief, and to our sponsors for the Daily News Brief, Solar Energy Services, the Kristi Neidhardt Team of Northrop Realty, a Long and Foster Company, and Scout and Molly's over there at the Annapolis Town Center. So now you need to hang tight. We have George Young from DCMDVA Weather standing by with your locally forecast weather report. Fingers crossed for some better weather. And back with the legal brief, Scott MacMullan from Scott MacMullan Law. All that coming up in just a bit.
Hello, energy consumers. This is Rick Peters, president of Solar Energy Services. Have you been looking for ways to save money recently? Maybe you should consider solar energy for your home. Or are you waiting for the technology to get cheaper? If so, how long are you going to wait? Today's solar costs less than 20% of what it cost 10 years ago. But while solar prices have declined every year, so have the financial incentives. Bottom line, if you wait for cheaper solar, you're also waiting for lower incentives. Take my home, for example. My solar system was installed in 2010, and it's been paid off for almost 5 years, and I no longer have to buy any electricity for another 15 to 20 years. If I waited for cheaper solar, I'd still be paying an electric bill. At Solar Energy Services, we have thousands of satisfied customers who are sure glad they didn't wait. So what are you waiting for? Sunshine's a wasted. Call us today for a free solar design at 410-923-6090 or on the web at solarsaves.net.
Sunshine, sunshine, nothing else can make me feel so fine.
When you live near Annapolis, you know how fickle the weather can be. So you need a truly local forecast that's accurate and reliable. Forecast right here in Annapolis. DCMDVA weather is not just for today, but for the rest of the week and the weekend too. Now here's George Young of DCMDVA weather with the weather outlook for today and beyond.
Hey everyone, this is George with DCMDVA Weather, and this is your Eye on Annapolis forecast for Tuesday, October 4th. Yesterday brought outright miserable weather to the Annapolis region, and today will be a virtual repeat. But the good news is sunshine is on the way late week and for the weekend. Look for more clouds, rain, breezy northeast winds, and much below average temps again today across Arundel County, with highs once again only 50 to 57 degrees, to be followed by more clouds and maybe some more showers tomorrow, with skies starting to clear late in the day as low pressure off the coast in the Atlantic finally starts to pull away, with highs Wednesday up into the low 60s ahead of sunshine Thursday through Sunday, with very comfortable highs Thursday and Friday in the low to mid 70s, ahead of a cold front that will bring a return of cooler weather for the weekend, with highs each day in the upper 50s to mid 60s, with lows each morning around 40 to 45 degrees. Okay, that's it for today. This is George Young of DCMDVA Weather. Make it a great day out there. Stay healthy and be safe. Be sure to follow us on Facebook and Twitter for regular updates each day, along with our website at dcmdvaweather.info, and definitely be sure to download our DCMDVA Weather app on all of your devices from either the Apple or Google App Stores, so you can always stay weather informed.
Another moving moment from Kristi Neidhardt.
One of the biggest questions I'm getting asked right now, what is going on with the housing market? Well, when the interest rates jumped up 2 percentage points, mortgage payments went up 20% for the same home. This is starting to have an effect on the number of buyers we are seeing, with 10% fewer home sales than last spring. However, our inventory is 25% lower than the same time last year. What does all this mean? There are more home buyers than homes on the market, so prices are still increasing. Now more than ever, it's time to work with someone who can guide you with solid, proven advice. Wisdom, proactiveness, and intense marketing make a huge difference. Please give us a call today and let us help you navigate these waters. We promise to educate and guide you with your best interest at heart.
That's another moving moment with Kristi Neidhardt of Northrop Realty, a Long and Foster company. To get in touch, call 410-599-1370 or visit kn-team.com.
You never know when you might need an attorney. It could be when the lights light up on the police car behind you. Or maybe you have $1 million idea and need to incorporate. From wills and trusts to car wrecks and arrests, Scott MacMullan with the Annapolis-based Scott MacMullan Law, LLC, is here to offer some insight for you with today's legal brief.
Hello, Annapolis. This is Scott MacMullan, and this is your legal brief. Maryland's Move Over law expands on the roadway starting this past Saturday, October 1st. This law requires drivers to make lane changes or slow down when approaching any stopped, standing, or parked cars with hazard lights or warning signals. Anyone caught violating the law will face a misdemeanor charge carrying a $110 fine and 1 point on your license. If the violation causes a crash, the fine is $150 and 3 points. If there is a death or serious injury, the fine is $750 and 3 points. If you see a driver on the road with their hazard lights on and or emergency flares, did become law in Maryland that a driver must slow down. The original Move Over law went into effect in 2010, and then another expansion in 2004 that required people to not only include police cars, but also tow trucks, fire trucks, and medical trucks, and rescue trucks as well, to move over for those vehicles as well. On October 1st, 2018, the law expanded again to provide for transportation, service, and utility vehicles, as well as waste and recycling trucks. Upshot is, if you see somebody with their hazard lights or flares or any of these service vehicles on the side of the road, you need to try to move over, if not slow down. I do believe there will be some quote-unquote traps for this type of law. There were in 2018 when they changed this law, and in 2014 I do think they're going to set up some traps to get some people cited for this type of law. So be careful, slow down or pull over. I know myself, sometimes I want to pull over and it's unsafe to pull over, so you need to slow down in that instance. So be careful out there. Again, this is information, not advice. If you seek advice, give us a call at Scott MacMullan Law, LLC at 443-494-9775, located at 104 Cathedral Street, Annapolis, Maryland. Parking available upon request.
Ready for a new look for those end of summer parties? Come see us at Scout and Molly's. I'm Betsy Abraham. My mom and I own and operate this great little boutique at the Annapolis Town Center. After spending the last 2 years shopping online, come enjoy a fun, in-person shopping experience with a bonus, real customer service. We'd love to help you pick out the perfect outfit for back-to-school Annapolis boat shows and nights out with your friends. Scout and Molly's, Annapolis Town Center. Thanks for shopping local.
You've been listening to the Eye on Annapolis Daily News Brief. Tell your friends and colleagues, this is the podcast where you can keep up on the latest with what's going on in Annapolis and Anne Arundel County. And don't forget about our website, eyeonannapolis.net, where you can find even more information. And make sure you follow us on Facebook at All Annapolis and on Twitter at Eye on Annapolis. This Daily News Brief podcast comes to you every Monday through Friday at 6 a.m.